Yeah, hello guys, welcome back. This is Viren Kumar. So today in this video session, I'm going to discuss about the introduction part of the Azure DevOps. And then we will discuss about the overview of the Azure DevOps services. Before going to start with the Azure DevOps, we are going to understand first the what is the software development lifecycle. We all know that in old days when the software was developed, at that time the people were using the old development model, just like the waterfall model. It was a time consuming model. Therefore, people adopted the agile model. Nowadays, the agile model is very useful in every software development in every IT industry. All the IT industry are using the agile model for the rapid changes and the continuous delivery of the software product. When the people were working with the waterfall model, that time we have the lots of tracking tools. For the test management tool, there are the n number of the test management tool. Companies were using this test management tool. Okay, and for the CI/CD operations, the companies are using the Jenkins, Bamboo, GitLab, TeamCity. So there are the different type of the tools available for the CI/CD operations. But all these are tools are different tools, and we need the different type of the installation and the license. So to overcome this problem, what the software industry thought, we need to integrate all these things at a one platform. In that race, the Microsoft has developed the one platform which we called the Azure DevOps platform. Azure DevOps is an integrated platform where we have the all these services on the one window, and these services we can access by the web browser. We no need to install the different type of the tools on our systems for the different team members. The Azure DevOps provide all the services at a one platforms, and we need only the one license that we call the Azure DevOps. Okay, so this is the Azure DevOps. We will go through the overview. Before that, we understand some theory part. The DevOps is a set of practice that combines the software development and the IT operations. These are the three main key part of the software development part. When a software is being developed, okay, that time we need the developers who will write the code. We need the QA persons who will test the software, and then we need the operational team. Those will handle the operational related tickets. Earlier they are working differently. Now after coming the DevOps concept, they are working together. So DevOps, it is a practice, okay, and it is a way the continuous and the automated delivery cycle for the high speed software quality development. We are talking about the Azure DevOps provides the integrated feature that we can access through the web browser or IDE client. Azure DevOps is a set of process that brings together developers, project managers, and the contributors to develop the software. Coming to overview of the services. What is the overview of the Azure DevOps services? Azure DevOps provide an integrated set of services and the tools that we can manage for our software projects, from planning and development through the testing and the deployment. We can use most of the services via the web interface. We no need to install because these services are hosted in the cloud. These are the cloud services that we can access via the web interface, and that we can access from all the major browsers: Edge, Chrome, Mozilla, whatever browser is available supported by this one, we can access these services. Accessing the Azure DevOps through the left navigation part. So this is the left navigation part. Okay, now let me show you this one. This is the browser. dev.azure.com is the URL to access the Azure DevOps, and this is one organization and this is one project. These are mandatory to access the DevOps, Azure DevOps. And under the Azure DevOps on this left navigation panel, we can access the services. Now, what are the Azure DevOps services? Let's talk about it. Azure DevOps service name. In Azure DevOps, we have the 5 type of the services. One is the Azure Pipelines, Azure Repos, Azure Boards, Azure Test Plan, and Azure Artifacts. Azure DevOps and the Azure DevOps services both are different things. If you are talking about the Azure DevOps services name, you need to give these names. Now, how to access these services on the web portal? So these are the pipelines, Azure DevOps pipelines. So this is that pipeline services you can access from here. Repo services you can access from here, repos, and the board services you can access from this board services, and test plan you can access from the test plan services, and artifacts you can access from the artifact services. So these are the 5 services. Those are integrated into Azure DevOps platform. Okay, so now we understood that all the test management, source code management, CI/CD and DevOps operations, test planning, and the packaging we can access over one platform through the web URL any supported browser. We no need to install the different type of the tools available into the market. We need only the one platform. From there we can access all the services for all the team members. So everything you will get in the Azure DevOps services, and that's the reason companies, those are working with the agile models, they are slowly moving to the Azure DevOps or any other DevOps services tool. These tools are very useful for the quick and the rapid delivery of the software development cycle, and these have a low maintenance and the low cost for these ones. Okay, now Azure Pipeline services, what these services will do, these will perform the CI/CD operations. So under these services you can perform the CI/CD operations. Azure repos, for the Azure repos, under these services you can perform the Git and the Team Foundation repository services. Means the source code control services you can control from the Azure repos. Azure boards. Azure board basically for the project tracking. Okay, with the Kanban boards, backlogs, team dashboards, custom reportings. So your product or the project tracking tool or test management tool, okay, that you can access from this Azure boards. Azure test plan. So your testing related, suppose if you are working with the automation or the manual testing and you have prepared some test cases, that you can control through the Azure test plan services. Azure artifacts is related to the packaging, okay, like the Maven, Python package tool, any build management tool that you can control through the Azure artifacts. Dashboard is the user configurable dashboard. From the dashboard we can do all these things. From the repos, it's a source and the version control system that allow the developers to calibrate on the code and track the changes made to the code basis. Okay, in the Azure DevOps repos we can perform the pull, push, branching every operations of the GitHub. Boards, software development projects require way to easily share information and track the status of the work, task, issues, and the code defects. Pipelines, we can perform the CI/CD pipelines. To know more, you can see on my screen, these are the pipelines ready. We have the two types of the pipelines, the build automation and the release management. So for that, build pipelines and the release pipelines, and these pipelines are automated. The building and the deployment happen automatically through the system. There is no human required to do the pushing the code, integration of the code, and the deployment of the code. These operations perform automatically through the pipelines